Namaste, everyone. It's me, Foxy D. Okay, so I'm posting a lot. I'm doing a lot of work these days, and this kind of makes me feel connected somehow. I'm very alone these days, which is not a bad thing. It's enabled me to take a little bit of a dive inwards to explore a lot of things in my history. Again, I'm doing this independent research project at the same time as I'm setting up my business, and I'm doing this, and it makes me feel connected to all of you, which really got me to thinking about the whole HSP, empath, INFJ, honesty, humility thing. I think a lot of those things are very interrelated. Now, earlier today, in my quest to distract myself, I got on this very interesting video about how empaths should make money. And I believe that's the case. And the reason empaths should make money is because we'll do a lot of good with that. But we live in a society where empaths don't seem to be rolling in dough, if you will. And that has a lot to do with how our system is set up. We're in late stage capitalism, neoliberalism, the whole deal. I won't go there. Maybe that'll be a different series of videos. I have a lot of very strong opinions on this stuff, but I digress. We're going to talk about the empathy thing right now and the dive inwards and why workplace mobbing seems to happen very often to people who are high on the honesty humility scale and appear to have a lot of experience with narcissistic abuse. Got my wheels turning. I'm going to say something that a lot of you will not enjoy, and I'm basing this on some of the comments that I saw on this video. Okay, so here's the statement. Narcissists and empaths have a very similar upbringing, whereby one group has seemed to gravitated towards the light, if you will. The other has gravitated towards darkness. Now, I'm not a religious person. It definitely conjures up ideas of the fallen angel, Lucifer, and angels. All right? Now here, remember, very non-narcissistic, not perfect in terms of my personality traits. We won't even go there, but very high on honesty, humility, and I am a genuine, intuitive empath. So I'm going to speak from my core right now. So this is intuition coupled with readings from the past and life experience. So here we go. Having been raised in a family with a lot of narcissistic people in it, I remember calling things as I saw them from a very young age. I remember feeling very badly when anything or anyone around me felt badly. I am a sponge. I feel collective consciousness. I feel other people's emotions. It is not a choice. It is part of my being. So it's not that I have absolutely chosen to gravitate towards the light. I have memories from the time I was 3. I mean, really, I know myself pretty well. But as I got older, I started listening to a lot of words. Remember, I'm into a lot of research. I think I was unbalanced a little bit. Very much, very full in the mental plane and not so much in the spiritual. And in the emotional, very naive. Allow me to explain. So I believe there's a common core between narcissists and empaths. We have very similar upbringings, having probably been raised by a narcissistic parent or two, having had narcissistic family members around us, being undervalued or devalued, neglected or abused. So there, I said it. Now, was it a choice to gravitate towards light or dark? I don't think so. I think that this is where the whole genetics and environmental factors come into play. I think that this is in part genetic and in part environmental. So we are living in a society that's dominated by narcissism. And I'm not going to talk about millennials or put down a generation of people. It has nothing to do with that. It's just the way it goes. I believe it's a part of the whole late stage capitalism thing. I also believe that there is this false narrative that narcissists are very strong. They are not. They're extremely socially sensitive. Now, you could say an empath is too sensitive. We are sensitive. An intuitive empath will feel the emotions and vibrations around them. We'll feel them. We are the natural healers. We don't choose to want to heal. It's not that we go out of our way necessarily and, have to heal everybody. We're just feeling all of this vibration. Obviously, it's very uncomfortable sometimes. All right. And do we feel better when people around us are happy? And, if not joyful, how often does that happen? But yeah, gotta have an empath party. So it's all good vibe. Good luck. But anyhow, so we want the people to feel good because it makes us feel better. Call it like it is. It really does. It's like, when people are high vibe, good things are happening. I'm thrilled. When there's low vibration around, it really does affect me. And it affects intuitive empaths. It's normal. So a narcissist is very socially sensitive as well. But rather than looking for the light, they seek, and like I said, I don't think it's necessarily a choice. It's just that they're scanning the environment. They are empathic, so they can feel what another person feels. We can see each other. We can absolutely see each other. The malignant narcissist and the empath have a connection. We have a core. Now, herein lies a couple of essential differences. The empathy experienced by a narcissist is very different. We want to go towards the light and heal. Like, this is just part of our nature, okay? Whereby the narcissist enjoys inflicting pain and feeling power. We don't feel that. It's just not part of our nature. That could probably point to the reason why we're not money makers. I'm going to try to actually disprove that whole thing. So stay tuned. But here we go. I got to say, it is what it is, right? Our world leaders are not exactly these magnanimous, loving human beings. For the most part, I mean, it's very narcissistic. It's pretty much a warmongering society that we live in. So this is deemed a strength. But the truth is, narcissists are very weak and very insecure. So they scan their environments for negative. We don't do that. It's just not our nature to do that. And oftentimes, as empaths, we're not even aware of our natures. It took me years to understand that why I thought other people were like me. They're not. I can literally predict certain things before they happen on an instinctual level. I feel it. And I know, whomever is listening to this and is also an intuitive empath will understand exactly what I'm talking about. Are we patsies? Maybe. Maybe sometimes we are patsies. Why? Because oftentimes, because of that similar core between a narcissist and an empath, we mistake covert narcissists for fellow empaths. How does that happen? If you're such an empath and you can feel things and predict things, it's easy enough. I'll explain. And again, I'm speaking through my own intuition, my own experiences. Typically, at first, when you see each other, that core of empathy resonates one to the other. It's a vibrational thing. The empath, like myself, has to learn how to pay more attention and trust one's instinct. So this is where I've gone wrong. I've not trusted my instinct. I could have left that workplace 7 years ago. I knew maybe after 2 weeks that this was the wrong place for me on a deep, guttural, instinctive level. I was surrounded by narcissists and wannabes. It was horrible, but I stayed in spite of, and I can't say my better judgment in terms of just my frontal lobe functioning, in spite of what my core and my essence knew. Trust your instinct. All right? Now, so when you meet a covert narcissist, again, there is that resonating of empathy because they have empathy as well. It just, they use it very differently. Whereby a narcissist will scan their environment for negative and look for anything that, is a perceived slight. We don't do that. We do see each other. It just so happens, because the narcissist is so rejection sensitive, they get to know who we are before we fully understand who they are. Now, why is that? Because in our society, we're taught not to listen to our cores, not to listen to our instincts and to our essence, which is the spiritual part of who we are. So I'm going to challenge that as well, fellow empaths. Your core knows. And if you think back to all of the narcissists and covert narcissists you've met, and you really think back, there was a time when your instinct went off and you knew, but you listened to the words and you let it go. And therein lies the key. Don't let it go. Your instinct knows. Follow that, hone it. And that's it for now. So that's my rant for the day. Fellow empaths, I wish you a beautiful day. Love, success, peace, harmony, and respect. Signing off, Foxy D. Namaste.